Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Gonna do a fast overview of my Echo 620 PW. I love this saw. I absolutely love it. This is the Echo 590 and 620 is probably one of my favorite platforms. It's great. I have been told the reason that these things are so great is because they have a ridiculously long stroke for their size. That checks out because they make a lot of torque. They make more torque than a 60cc saw should make. They're a little heavy, little big for their size. I mean, if I was more prepared, I would have set out the 272 and 044 right next to them so you can see they're about the same size as a 70cc saw with a little bit less power, but by and large they're just phenomenal saws. I've owned two 620 part saws and owned one 590 that I got brand new for a really low price. The 590 that I had, I took the coil, I took the full wrap handle and the double dogs and the clutch cover off of one of the 620s, put it on my 590, and it was great. I love that saw. It was always in the bed of the truck. It ran around everywhere. I had the Echo 27-inch bar with a skip tooth chain on it for most of its life. I've tried full comp, but skip was definitely a lot better on it. And it was just great. I ended up getting it stolen out of the bed of the truck, and I wasn't smart enough back then to keep records of my serial numbers as much as I do right now, and I'll tell you what, that saw hurt to lose. So this is one of the part saws that I got. I ended up fixing it with all thread and jbweld and a few other things. These saws have one Achilles heel in my opinion, and that is in hot weather, this muffler gets way too hot and it starts to melt this chain brake lever. I mean, as you can tell, it's not even close to faded, and everything else on the saw is pretty faded. That's the new part on this saw. When that thing starts to melt, it's able to shake, and these bolts that hold it in are drilled and tapped directly into the magnesium case. They start to shake a little bit. Pretty soon, your entire chain brake trigger mechanism doesn't work, and that's not very good. So what ends up happening is these saws, and why I got them, OSHA will not allow you to run saws without chain brakes, especially new saws without chain brakes. So that's how I got them. A case for one of these is not very expensive. It's just very time consuming, and it's going to do it again. So I've got one more part saw of these, and I have a brand new case. I might completely rebuild one of these and turn it into a little hot rod. Or I might not. I don't know. I might just keep it as parts for this saw. I don't know. All I can say, these are great saws. The 590 I had I think I liked it a tiny bit better, only because I felt like its suspension was a little tighter, and it started a little easier in the cold because they don't have the pop-up piston that these have. These have a domed piston. The 590 has a flat top piston, and the porting is a little bit less aggressive, so in really cold temperatures it would start just a little easier than this saw. I mean, we're talking a minute amount of difference, and I'm talking really cold temperatures. The coldest I have used these things down into is -30. I know that's -30 Fahrenheit. To other people, that's probably nothing. That's probably where they start to cut because their ground freezes and they can finally get out to the woods. But that's pretty cold for running saws out here. So they just don't like to start in that kind of weather. The 620s, the 590 had no problem doing it. Might be the retarded coil now that I think about it, because I put the coil on it in summer after I had used it all winter. It was my dedicated landing saw. That was it. If it got ran over by the skidder, or if the me, the shovel operator, decided to smash it. Just wanted a cheap saw for that. This has a really inexpensive tri-link chain that wraps around a log wizard right now. Last time I was using it to knock dirt off of logs right before the band on the band mill was going through them. So it's still set up like that. What I should have done was cut all these teeth off, but I don't know. I didn't bother with that. We're required to wear chaps and everything. It was just extra stuff. Needed to get the job done. Got the job done. Now I'm probably going to put the log wizard on a different bar and chain, and probably a smaller saw. But anyway, you guys have a great day. This is my overview of the Echo 620. Have a great day. Bye.